Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. I'd love to know what crafting you've been doing recently. I've been having so much fun. I am really enjoying the freedom that this channel gives to me. So today is a beautiful card using flower, let's see, can you see that? Oh, flower forming foam. I've just knocked a piece off. I'll put that back in. Flower forming foam. So it's very tactile. I'm going to spend a lot more time on the flower and I'll just quickly put the card together because basically the card base is the carrier for the foam. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? I hope you like this. I'm going to show you now how to make the flower. So the other day, somebody asked me if I would show a way to use flower forming foam on a project. So this is what this is. There are so many different brands of foam around. This is just the one that I've got. And I have to admit, white is my favourite foam to use. It's the one I will use all the time. Now these sheets that I get are 9 by 12 inches. So I've cut it in half. So I've got 6 inches wide by 9 inches in length. And I'm going to fold it in half that way. And then I'm going to fold half of it. Yep. Well, not half, about a third of it over again. So I've got this smaller piece. Now the dies I'm using, these flower dies, are from one of my previous Fleurs collaborations. So this is Blush Bells. I also did, and I love this one, Golden Sunset, because this puts the veins on. I did Diamond Sunset, Frosted Sparkle, which is one where you build your own flower, and also Peachy Keen. I think there was another one. I must have just missed that one out of the pack when I picked them up. So anyway, I've got this. This one gave you lots of different elements, if you can see in there. You've got centres and leaves. Yeah, really lovely. So as I said, I folded it over, and you don't need any fancy die cutting machines to do this. Most dies will cut through 6 layers of foam. Obviously if I had a bit more time I'd probably be using my foam a bit more economically, but I just want to show you quickly how it's done. So I'm just going to take those down so that they don't move. I'm then just going to pop it into my small die cutting folder, bring the small die cutting machine in, and then come on through there. There we go. Just needed it to catch through there. So you say 3-inch wide mouth is absolutely perfect. That's cut, but I'm lazy. Let's just bring it back. Just give it a minute to come back. There we go. And that will have cut absolutely brilliantly. If we turn that over, look at that. So 4 layers here and 2 layers here. No problems whatsoever. So just pop that out. There you go. I tend to sort of stick at 4. I do believe it'll, and some die cutting machines, it'll cut through 8 as well. But if you start doing that, it pushes the foam so tight together that you just lose all shape. Because look at this, it's not squashed that foam whatsoever. Or at all, should I say. So there we go. So we've got that. So I've got the 4 big ones and the 3 smaller ones. So I'm just going to use, what did I use? I'm going to use 3 larger ones and 2 of the smaller ones. So I'll keep that larger one for later. And then we're going to pop it onto my mat. So I'm going to just add some colour. You can add colour to foam in many ways. You can use, I love my crayons to be using that, you know, your distress crayons, things like that. You can use your alcohol ink pens just to put veining on. It's entirely up to you. So this one, my doorbell's a bit mucky. This one, I'm just using my water reactive ink pad, and I'm just using a sponge in the centre, and I'm just picking up some of this lovely spring meadow, this gorgeous yellowy green, and I'm just putting it in the centre of the 2 smaller ones, just like that. Then I'm going to get the pink, so I'm just using pink tulip because I only want a hint. Now normally I do both sides, but for this I'm just going to do one side. I'm just going to go round the edges like that. There we go. I'll just do the rest and then we'll see where we are after that. So there we have them put together. I love seeing my own hand drawings come to life and put them into die form. So these are a 5 petal flower. So all I'm going to do is going to fold it in half over that one, fold that one in half, then put those together, and then I just sort of manipulate that one onto the top. So I've got all 5 petals on top of each other, and then I'm just going to pleat them. Now I do so many of my flowers like this, and then I'm going to twist. And what you can do while you've got it there is just add a little bit more ink. Now the great thing about foam is it's very malleable, and you can shape it, and if you don't like it, put a little bit of heat on it and shape it again. Now I'm using just the heat of my hands, but you could be using, I've done so many demonstrations on the TV channels using a craft iron. That works absolutely beautifully. Or just a heat gun. You can just do that. For the smaller ones, a heat gun is brilliant because you can just pull it up. So you can see I'm doing all of them in exactly the, oh, actually I want to do that one backwards. So instead of putting the colour on the inside, I'm going to put the colour on the outside. I nearly forgot about that. If I'd have done it on the inside, it wouldn't have mattered. I could have just reshaped it using the heat from my hand again. I'm just going to put a little bit of ink. That one's quite pale. And then, now you see I didn't blend the colour onto the petal. I didn't worry about how the colour goes on, because as soon as you start shaping them and twisting them and using the heat of your hands, you will blend that ink in really carefully. So I'm just going to put that one to the side. So remember, that's the inside out one, and you'll see why in a minute. So we're doing the same with the smaller ones. Fold them over. I do so many of my flowers this way, really do. I'm just going to speed this up, but you can see I'm doing it in real time just to show you how quick it is. Now some people say they rip their foam. I think over the years I've got used to the amount of pressure you can put on them, but I used to rip my foam all the time. All I would do is hot glue it back together, because if you go and look at a rose, peony or any flower, how many of them, apart from the show ones of course, how many of them have perfect flowers? Very, very few. They all often have faults and rips and things on them. So this means I'm just trying to make it a bit more realistic, and it really doesn't hurt at all. So I've got, this is quite an old sponge. I've actually got some baby sponges that I'm going to sort of migrate over to when this one's too much. And I've got some different size ball tools. I'm going to use these two. So I'm not going to use, don't think I'm going to use the larger ones. I'm going to use those. Now the glue I've got is hot glue. I find hot glue is best, but when I come to put my gem in the middle, I'll just use a bit of tacky glue. So I'm going to open this out. Now you can shape it with your fingers, or you can just get your ball tool and you can just shape it. Can you see it? I'm just putting it behind and shaping it. Now I'm being careful to keep my hand away from the edge because I've added dimension. If you find that you squash the edge, don't worry. All you need to do is just go back in and reshape it like that, and then you can just put it back in. Or like I say, you can shape it just like this, or you can use your ball tool. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to go on to the second size ball tool for this one. I'm going to pop it open like that, and then I'm going to open it just, oh, I've got a thread, like that. These are just so lovely. The more you work flower forming foam, the thinner it becomes and the more petal like it becomes. That's all I can see is when you first start, it's less than a millimetre thick, but it still doesn't feel very like a petal. But as soon as you start to play with it and use it, this is the one that's inside out. So I'm just going to open it out, and I'm just going to do exactly as I did before and open it out. But can you see the colour was on that side? So I'm just going to shape it that way, just as I did before. Just there. And this time I'm going to shape it round that way. Just do that. That's right. Do that. And then I'm going to turn it over. Right. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So I like to start from the bottom of my flower. So I'm going to take this one. You can see I've not over shaped it because I don't like to. I like that roughness. So I'm going to get my hot glue. Now, excuse me if my hot glue is a little bit dark because I left my hot glue gun on a bit too long yesterday and I haven't got through the glue. So I'm just pressing that down to hold it. I'm not shaping it yet. I'll just do that so it doesn't twist. doesn't matter that my hot glue is a bit yellow because it's not going to be visible once I finish. Go through the small one. Sometimes some of my favourite flowers are made just with one size of petal, so it's up to you. You can see I've only got colour in the centre ones because you can't see the centres of the ones underneath. So if you wanted to put colour in, you could, but that's, you know, I don't see any point in that. Always staggering them. I'm going to get that larger ball tool and I'm just going to press. So while that glue is still hot, I'm just going to hold it like that, just give it a little twizzle. What I'm doing here is it's gone into the mat. The ball tool is creating like a cup, and the glue will set, and it will set in the shape of the ball tool so that when I release and it pops open, it stays in that flower shape. And then it's just about separating them and giving it some dimension. So just fluff and play around. Now you'll see I've only used 4 layers so far, and I'll show you why in a minute. Just give that a bit of fluff and attention, just like that. I'm going to get this last one, and I've done the same. I've shaped it, but I'm actually going to turn this one over, and I'm going to actually use it upside down, and I'm going to pop a little bit of hot glue on there, and then I'm going to put this one on upside down. So what this actually, that's the wrong ball tool. What this will actually do is it means that I've got 4 of my 5 layer petals coming up, and then the bottom layer going down. Just gives a little bit more dimension. So I'm not going to press that too hard, and there is my gorgeous flower. Absolutely gorgeous. So what I've then done is I've found quite a small gem, just a little yellow gem. The one I'm going to show you has got a bit more of a greener one. So all I'm going to do, you could put a little bit of hot glue in, but I was finding that my hot glue wasn't giving me much time, so I'm going to put a little bit of tacky glue in. Tacky glue will hold 2 pieces of wood together, so there's absolutely no problem holding foam. Now the only reason I don't use it when I'm building the flower is I've used my hot glue to help me shape the flower, so my tacky glue wouldn't work like that. And then I put that in there. Like I say, you can reshape, you can add more colour as you go if you want. It really is up to you. Now this is why I love using white, because I've been able to apply this gorgeous gentle colour to it. Just fluff it up as you go. So that is a beautiful flower, and it now needs a really lovely card to work on, but it doesn't want a too complicated card. So I'm going to keep the card fairly simple but really, really pretty. So let's just put that to one side. I'm going to keep my hot glue gun on, and I'm going to show you what I've got for my card base. So I have gone with the green from the centre of the flower, and I have created a card base. It is a pre-bought 6-inch card base, and again this would work on a rectangular card if you want. And then, as I've been doing a bit recently, I've got 2 layers of white which are going to go on there. Now the top layer has got some foam on it, but before I put that onto here, I have just created a little tag with thank you on, and I've just run the green string through there. So I put some tape on the back, red liner tape. You didn't need to see me do all this, that's why I've done it in advance. Just taking that off there, and then I want it that way, so let's make sure I've got my tag the right way up. Oh, I've also got, I just found I've got so many charms, that's the word. So I've just put a little bit of green string. I don't know where that's going to go yet, so I'm just going to pop it on here. I can sort out where it's going to go when I've finished. So I'm going to pop that about there, I think. It's going to catch with the red liner. It should catch with the red liner. Have I left myself enough red liner string on that side? Yeah, don't worry, the positioning of the tag isn't fixed yet. It's just on, that's all I wanted to do. And then I'm going to get that with that. Oops, see, my red liner's not holding it properly. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get another little bit of red liner tape. It doesn't have to be a very big piece. Cut that off. Put that on top. And I won't even take the back off here. And I'm just going to pop that over the top. And that twine is not going anywhere now. So that's held nicely. I can just cut off that little excess bit. Okay, so I'm now going to pop this onto the next layer. And we can take this off. Now, these two pieces down the centre here, these two, don't actually need the backing off, because all they're there to do is to add strength and structure. So if you don't want to take, if you struggle taking the back off, although you wouldn't if you got this tape, I promise you, because somebody was saying to me, how do you get the tape off, so back off? It's just such a really good tape. They don't need to. I've taken it off because it takes me seconds, but as long as they're there to add the support, they don't have to be sticky at all. Again, always put the glue on just to give you that wiggle room. So we're going to take this and we're going to pop it on to my next layer. So you could actually go a bit finer than this. I've gone a little bit chunky. I've gone a full 1/4 of an inch today, because that's the look I wanted to get. Now I'm just going to move these out of the way. They're going to be moved again in a minute. And then I'm going to find some circle masks that I had. Oh, you've seen me use these so many times. Oh, I like that size. And I'm going to pop that over here. Just there. Let's move the charm out of the way. I'm going to pop that like that. Oh, now, it makes me think I might want a bigger circle. Is that the same size? That's the same size. Have I got a bigger one? Is that the next size? Yes, that's the next size. What I'm actually going to do is do that. That's better. That's a better one. What I might also do this with copier paper, or I'm just going to use a piece of paper towel. I'm just going to trim this paper towel up, and I'm just going to pop it here and here. So I've completely covered it up. So again, I've created a mask. What you could do is cut this out of a bigger piece, but you'll see these masks I use time and time again. So I'm going to pop this into my paint station. Let's just cover that there. Oh. And then, just because I know how clumsy I am, I'm just going to get something heavy. I just found something at the side of me. Right, so all I've got exposed is this little bit. Now, the reason I built the two layers is because I want the colour to go onto this layer as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my green, and I'm just going to put some of my green down on here. And then I've got a brush in some water, and I'm just going to dilute that there. Now, I could do this with sparkle inks. I could do this with my watercolours. It's entirely up to you. So I don't know how strong this is going to be. Right. That's not showing up very well. So I'm going to just grab a slightly darker green. This is what it's all about. It's trial and error. So let's put look at that. Slightly darker green in. The thing is not to dilute it down too much, but you need enough that it's going to, there we go. That's going to look there. It looks like the same green because, can you see it in there? It dilutes down when it splats, but I just wanted some splats on there. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a move just to get a few more on. But I did want it to come on both layers. I don't know why, because normally we try and keep the bottom layer clean. Right, that'll do. So let's just get rid of that. Let's move that out of the way. Move that. All of these bits can be reused. And then that is just giving me, look at that, a really lovely, controlled splat down in that bottom corner. So yeah, that's what I just thought looked really, really good. So let me just dry my desk off. There we are. So this now can go onto my card base. I don't need this anymore. So let's pop this onto the card base, and we're just going to do that. Oh, let's go different. No, I won't. I'll go tacky glue again because that's slightly pearlescent. So let's just pop my tacky glue on the back of there, on here. Sometimes, I'm sorry, I just ramble on. You hear all my thought processes, don't you? Not that you need to hear them, but you really do. But, you know, perhaps you have the same thought processes. I don't know. I don't know. I was talking to a friend about my channel, and she said, I love your channel just because you sit and chat. You know, some people just try and keep it maybe a little bit more professional, you might think. I don't know. But I feel like I'm just chatting away to everybody, and I really, really like that. Okay, so I'm going to keep this one, again, keep it moving a little bit. I'm going to keep that charm on here. And the other thing I have done is I have got out of my scrapbooks lots of bits here. So where's my flower? There's my flower. And I should have a little green bow. Let me find it. Was on the floor right next to the bin. Don't know how it ended up there because that's on my right and I thought it was on my left. Okay, so I've just put a little bit of tacky glue on there so look, it won't come unravelled. And that's going to go onto here. So I'm going to work out, might have my charm dangling out. I don't want the knot down the bottom, but we can work on that one as we go. So let's just, now the other thing I did was I cut out some vellum circles, but now I've put this splats on, I don't think I need it. I just thought about maybe putting that on, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So don't be afraid to change things. So I thought I might, my flower's going to go like that on there. Let's just raise it up a little bit. And I thought it'd be nice to have a few bits coming out, but that's not right. So let's have a few little bits of here. So this is just I'm going to cut that across there, and then I'm just going to change some of the, go down and an up and up and a down there. Just going to make it a little bit more interesting, like that. And that's going to come out of the flower. So I'm going to pop that. Let's use that piece too. So sorry, you're just seeing my thoughts here just as we go. So look at that. Now what you could be doing, I could actually do, I was going to stick it with hot glue, but what I think I might do is I might stick it with my 3D glue. Simply because that means I've got a little bit more wriggle room. Like that. Now again, as you see me frequently do, I'm only gluing down one end of everything so that it's got movement. So my flower's going to go there. So I don't need the circles now. Do I need this big leaf? Now the only thing I cut out definitely for today was I cut out a green leaf. So everything else is going to be white. So I've got a couple of hearts. Let's put that through the glue and then I can trim off the end. Where did that fly to there? And another heart. I can put a little bit more glue, just like that. Oh, let's come down a little bit. I want them at very different heights. And now I'm going to put my flower on. I'm going to risk it. I am actually going to go in. Oh, look at that. My glue is really over hot. But never mind. Let's just pop that onto there. That's holding that. So I can then come in with my green leaf and tuck that in. Just there. I've got some white leaves. This is going to be really, really clean and simple. Well, not clean and simple, but very, very simple. But can you see how these little splats have come right down, but they've not gone onto your base? I didn't want them on the card base, so, you know, this works really, really well. The tag, if I can remember rightly, was made from this die set, Tags and Tickets from Vintage Butterflies. I know I've got more tags and I can't find them anywhere, but, you know, you come across things, don't you, as you're crafting. Oh, what's happened to that leaf? Now, I know I repeat this, but don't forget, you can come off the edge of your cards and off the top of your cards, but remember never to come off the bottom of your card. If you do, obviously your card's going to just fall over because, or it's going to bend what you've put. So you can see we're going lots of different orientations. Do I want a third heart or is 2 enough? Let's just try, oops, a third one. Just giving it a little bit more height. Just like that. Now remember, I've got wet glue under there, so it will dry in due course. I like the 3 like that. There we go. There we are, that looks lovely. I'm going to try and find a way to just pop this on. I need the tiniest little bit. Can you see I've just used, as I said, tacky glue just to, oh, got some glue strings. Hold it there. I do find tweezers easier than fingers. And that's like that. Oh, and have I got any, just a couple of gems? I found these. These would work well, wouldn't they? It's either water droplets or these green. And I think these green ones would work actually. So I'm going to try just the smallest ones. Just 3 of the very smallest. 2 and a third. Just like that. Different heights, different angles, doing there. And there you go. That is all I'm going to do. I am loving that. This is the sort of thing I love doing. I love doing the flowers. That stuck nicely on there. The other bits are all still drying while the 3D glue dries. But I wanted 3D glue so that I can move stuff around. Got a little tag on there. Thank you. We've done a couple of different cards recently. Not birthday, haven't we? But how about that? Do you like that? I think that is absolutely gorgeous. Really, really pretty. Yeah. It's sort of clean and simple, but clean anyway. Maybe not simple because, yes, there's a lot on it, but it's clean. So I think it works really well. So I hope you like that. It's going to sit perfectly like that. Yeah, you probably need a box because of the flower, but don't forget when it's delivered, if it does get a little bit squashed, you can reshape it. And I love that indeed. So there you go. I will try and put some links down at the bottom for anything that I can see, but I will leave you there and I will do some more slightly different flowers hopefully very soon. So yes, please don't forget to click on the links up here. So this one will be for some videos and this one will be for my subscribe. And until next time, thank you for watching, my friends. I'm glad I could share this one with you and have a lovely day. Bye for now.